Hi guys, and welcome back to the Video Game with Powers. I'm Jake, and in today's video, I am bringing you another unboxing. Yes guys, it is unboxing after unboxing after unboxing, because what happens sometimes with Kickstarter and gamefound campaigns is they do get delayed. And what always happens is they all get delayed and get delivered at the exact same time. So there has been so many unboxings on our channel lately, and there's gonna be a lot more unboxings to come, trying to get content for a lot of these games out. So we're gonna do a bunch of unbox all these games, and then start back over and do some playthroughs and reviews. But enough chitter chatter for me. Today we are gonna be unboxing the Gamefound Deluxe Edition of a board game called Tabletop Inc. Now, this game might look very familiar to you guys because it was originally branded as Meeple Inc. However, there was a copyright issue apparently in Europe. The term Meeple is copyrighted, and I did not know. So it kind of forced them to rebrand and name the game Tabletop Inc. And look guys, Tabletop Inc. is basically a board game about making board games, all right? So this is a game for 1 to 6 players, right around 60 minutes per playthrough, and it is coming to you from Cotswold Games right here. And let's see, this is designed by Madeleine and Joseph Adams, a board game about board games. All right guys, let's go ahead and jump down to the table and crack this one open. So we do have the core box right here, which is Tabletop Inc. And then this is probably the deluxeified components or something. We'll crack that open a little bit later. But here is our core box version of the game Tabletop Inc. You can see it's very cute. Now I am a little disappointed because on the back there, while this is a really cute artwork here, there's no real definition of the game, what exactly Tabletop Inc. is. So I'm curious to know if this is just a gamefound edition thing, and if they do have a retail version of the game, are they gonna have something on the back? But you know, I think that's usually very hard to kind of tell what a game is going to be like without that back synopsis, because a lot of times when I am looking at a game, guys, that I'm buying, I'm looking at the front cover, the artwork, and the back to get that summary. But here's the front cover, super cute. I can't remember exactly what they are calling these little guys now. I don't want to get copyrighted, so I'm not going to say the term. But we have the rule book right here. Let's see what we can find for Tabletop Inc. All right, here we go. Here is some objectives. What exactly is Tabletop Inc., guys? All right, let's read this. So the year is 1976. The Great Muman, that's what we're calling them, / human war of the 1500s are a distant memory, and the two species have coexisted harmlessly for centuries. Human ingenuity mixed with Muman industriousness has led to a new golden age of board gaming. In this brave new world of tabletop gaming, you and up to 5 others take on the role of board game publishers, competing to create the greatest work of ludological art. Welcome to the world of Tabletop Inc. In Tabletop Inc., you are aiming to become the most successful board game publisher in this alternate reality. To do this, you will be assigning your workers to various jobs to make the greatest board game imaginable. The player with the most victory points at the end of the game is the winner. All right, got some shout outs and some thank yous there. Let's put this back up where we need to. All right, so moving on forward, we have the rule book here. Wow, that does look like a lot. A lot of stuff on these pages. Hopefully it's clear and concise and able to read. All right, we got 18 pages, not bad. Specialist cards, POW cards, Muman bot. Maybe there's a solo mode. Yep, there is a solo mode of the game here. Interesting. Okay, so that is our rule book. We got some components here. Let's see what some of these tokens are. All right, so these are going to be our board game shelves. All right, we got some specialist standees, we got some research tokens, but I do believe I have the upgraded version with the actual shelf. So you just see some more tokens here, some shelves. These are some card easels, research tokens, playtest tokens. All right, so we got a bunch of different tokens here in the game. Got a bunch of different punch boards. at our disposal. All right, you have a fun time punching this one and out. All right, this is the game board right here. We'll take a look in that just a second. And now let's dive into some of these awesome, fun looking components. So these little bag here is going to be our Muman tokens. So just grab a couple of these bad boys out here. You can see some of our Muman tokens right here for the different player colors. All right, looks like we got some player aids. All right, some player aids. Always love a good player aid. We have our player tables. So these are really cool. They have like a nice felt lining to them. So we got that one. I love the blue. That's cool. All right, orange and gray. That one's coming up a little bit. Sit it back in there. All right. That's a cool looking one right there. And then we got green and pink. All right. So those are your board gaming tables there. We'll drop those in there just like that. Drop this back in here. You can see down here, we got some of our board game boxes. So mini game boxes. We have, look at all these funny ones. We got the Wild West board game, round table. Let's take a look at some more of these other ones. The Royal Game of Hey, that's an actual game. Mediterranean Trading. What else do we have in here? Man, we got a lot. Let me just see, take some of these. Don't want to spoil too much for you guys. Martian Lands. La Chat Noir. We have the Rum Chronicles. Capitalism. That's pretty funny. What else we got down here? Zombies. The flu. That's supposed to be our pandemic. That's funny. What is this one? Mercasantum. Interesting. I probably pronounced that wrong. Steampunk. Is this what this one is? Yep. Steampunk. Looks just like Chronicles of Paldon right there. They were head. Okay. I like trains. Bear size, extraterrestrial, Shire, vampire, wine, Vikings, tempting fate or tentacle fate, event horizon, and one iron knot. Am I pronouncing that right? Look, guys, I have trouble looking at these. One iron knot. All right, interesting. So those are some of our mini game boxes. Throw these bad boys back in here. And then we're going to have a bunch of cards. We got a little hourglass mini hiding in there. And we got some cards. So these are just going to be like solo cards, specialist cards, wild cards, item cards. Some of these different cards. That's objective cards. What else do we have in here? Some solo cards. Let's take a look at these. Bust these cards open. Give you guys a little sneak peek of all these different cards. So we got on the back. Yeah. All right. So these are going to be the back. These are your prediction cards. All right. Got some prediction cards for the player colors, I believe. No clue what these are going to do. Objective cards. Got some different objectives right there. Okay. But yeah, we just got a bunch of small different cards. I'll show you guys here on our little box, right? So we got Zap cards, Solo, Specialist cards, Wild cards, Founder cards, Skill cards, Objective cards, Freelancer cards, Item cards, and POW cards. Let's see if we can find some of these Freelancer or Item cards. I'd love to know what items are in this particular game. So those are more objective cards. These are item cards. Okay. What do we got? Oh, not really item cards. Maybe just drawn different objectives and things like that. Item cards. What are these? Freelancer cards. We got some board game freelancers that you guys can buy here. Okay, Asmodeus Games. Look at that. Oh, they got some. What are these? These like games you can... Corporation cards. A-Girl Games, Gmon Games. Okay, these are funny. Let's look at these. I'm glad I did this. Asmodeus Games, Rockmare Games, A-Girl Games, Gmon Games, Cogito Games, Tabletop Inc, Asmodeus Games, all the different corporations that are going to be here in the game. That's pretty funny, guys. Okay, well look, it's not a whole lot of components here. I do actually like that, right? Not a whole lot of components. Let me put these back in here real quick. Let's take a look at this game board. All right. Let me pull this bad boy out. Oh, this is a pretty big game board here. I'm gonna have to shift this around and move some space so it looks to be double-sided. All right, and I know you guys are not gonna be able to see all of it right now. Let me back this out just a smidge. Okay, there's a pretty good view of it. So it's going to be one side of the board. I'm sure there's a different player count for the others, for the sides of the boards you want to play as. Here's the other side of the board. Okay, now a lot going on. Board is very busy. I do believe that was one of the complaints here with the board, is just there's so much going on. But I think, again, they had to change this from the original design because of the copyright thing, I believe. But yeah, interesting. I don't really know how I feel about this board, okay? Let's see, put this back. All right, guys, that is, let's probably go under there. That is everything in our core box of Tabletop Inc. All right, looks very, very interesting. All right, let's check out, this is probably our deluxe components here, our deluxeified components. How am I feeling about the game so far? I don't know, guys, honestly. I'm a so-so. It always is tough when you have an idea for a game and then your game or the main theme of your game does get copyrighted and it forces you to change it. That is always very tough because I did like the original design and the original kind of overarching theme that they had here. All right, so these are going to be what I believe is extra stickers. All right, these are what I believe to be extra stickers for that you can put on the board games to have different types of board games, different names and things like that. I do believe that that's what this is for. All right, as you can see right here, we do have the wooden board game shelf. All right, super nice. That's wood. That's nice. So you have this display where you're going to be putting the different games in there. We have the wooden easels and stands right here, so I don't need to keep any of those wooden easel and stands. I wonder if some of this stuff fit in the original game box. What is this? I have no idea what this is, but this feels very heavy. These are wow, these are metal trophies of some sort. Look at that, guys. That is legit. Holy smokes. That is awesome. So that is a metal, I mean, that thing is thick, guys. Like, whew, that thing is heavy. I was like, geez, I picked up this thing, like, what is in here? So it seems to be you got 3 metal trophies. Don't really know what that's for. And then we got a whole bunch of different acrylics. So all of those different specialists that you saw earlier, there's now a acrylic version of them. So you can see here just a couple of these acrylic people, but we got a whole bevy of these acrylic standees. So that's really cool. Looks to be some other wooden components of all the different, or not wooden components. So we got some dice here, right? We got some magnifying glasses. So basically all those tokens you saw earlier, we now have plastic wooden pieces of them. There's the light bulbs, the ideas of them. So this is the deluxeified box. I'm gonna see if I can finagle some of this stuff to fit this in the actual core box of the game, because I really don't want to have 2 boxes, because I do not have the shelf space for both of these particular boxes here. But all right, guys, that is everything in this deluxeified, the deluxe box of Tabletop Inc. All right, guys, well, look, that is a full unboxing here of everything in the GameFound Deluxe Edition of Tabletop Inc. Core box and the deluxeified components. So what am I thinking? Look, I will say that the deluxeified components, when I open that box, definitely gives me a much better feeling about this game. Again, like I said, it's tough when you have a game and your main theme kind of does get copyrighted a little bit. They've had to make a lot of changes, and I saw the changes on the game, and I still, still went with my pledge. I still want to see how it turns out. I am a little nervous now looking at the finished product just a little bit. It does look like a lot of iconography, a lot of words, but the components here from this deluxe, the acrylics, the shelves and all that stuff really make me feel a little bit better just from a production standpoint. But yeah, I'm going to be curious to see how this one plays. I really haven't read the rule book, haven't really seen a whole lot on this, but yeah, I got kind of mixed feelings. I'm like 50-50 right now on the game and how it's going to play. So this is actually one of the very first games in a while, guys, that I've been 50-50 on in terms of am I like it or not. Usually I unbox these games, I'm like, man, this artwork looks great, and the artwork does look pretty cool, but well, again, we'll just have to wait and see on this one. If you guys enjoyed this content, smash that like button, hit that notification bell. Comment down below, have you guys backed Tabletop Inc? What are your thoughts and opinions on it? And as always, guys, if you're not subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe so we can keep bringing some more awesome content. All right, guys, y'all have a great one. Bye.